Well, really, it was Steve, the chairman, who rang me and just asked me if I could help out. He just wanted to change things for the running, and I've always gotten really well with him. I've always liked him as one of the best owners, really, and the club itself's always, been. I've always enjoyed playing against him. I don't think I've lost against him yet, but it's when he rings you and asks you that, I think you've just got to, I'm more or less retired, I think, in my mind. But, I thought, well, what an opportunity. 8 games without anybody booing me.
You like a challenge, I know that. But how tough a job do you think you've got on your hands?
Well, I mean, we're down there for a reason. You can't pull any punches. Big clubs have gone down before. So it's a really precarious position. But having said that, we've got 8 games and some cracking games in that. And the lads have first session today, I'm very, very pleased with how that's gone. So it's trying to get the results that we can keep it up. That's all it is at the moment, for the rest of the season, trying to get enough points.
I mean, you've obviously done it before with some success, but how difficult is it to come into a club with so few games left and keep them in this division?
Well, it's difficult, but other clubs have got difficulty as well. There's quite a few clubs down there, I think, in trouble. I think there's, you could say 6, maybe 6, 7. So, lots of points to play for with 8 games to go. And it's surprising, really. You think, this game's this game's the be-all and end-all, and that game is... But the end of the season running is a really difficult... teams have got a lot of pressure on them, not just ourselves in a precarious position we're in, but, the playoffs, chasing for the playoffs and automatic promotion. It does take a lot out of you at this stage, I think.
And also, you've got to play some of those other teams who are in a similar position to you. You've got Stoke and Hull. Teams like that battling for their lives. It couldn't be tougher for you.
No, I think, that's why I'm still in it at my age. I love that sort of thing, really, that challenge. I've always really got on well with our fans, the fans up here, at Middlesbrough, really. And I think it's an opportunity to put a little bit back, really. I'd like to see Middlesbrough stay in that division and build for the future. And so, I think at this moment in time, I couldn't resist the opportunity of helping out.
What do you have to do to get the players in the right frame of mind now, obviously, apart from win games?
Well, it's difficult. They're in their position for a reason. And it's okay saying we've got loads of ability, but ability never wins you games. You've got to have a little bit more like in your locker. And I'm hoping to instill that in the team and, not worry about the odd setback. There's 8 games and we've just got to crack on and get sufficient points to have a good summer. I say summer, a late summer. And then obviously the club can build for next year.
Neil, are you thinking of bringing in your own staff or are you going to work with the current backroom staff?
Yeah, I'm bringing Kevin Blackwell and Ronnie Jepson in. I said to Steve, I can do it, but I need my lieutenants that I know what they're going to do. We do everywhere we've been. We work together, and I think that's the best chance that the club's got, really. So yeah, I'm taking that. But the current staff are staying. I think Steve's talked to Jonathan, obviously, and he's had a chat with him about the situation.
So can you do it? Can you keep Borough up?
Well, I wouldn't have come if the answer was no. As I've said, we seem to be called. I should be called the Red Adair. That might be a little bit before your time, love. That.
No, it's not.
So they might call me the Red Adair, I think, because I don't really get jobs that are decent in that respect. I always get troubleshooting jobs, but I do enjoy that. Rather than being mid-table and nothing to play for, I just think that you need that little bit of something on the edge, and that's what I've missed in the last few months. I have missed that the rapport with the players. I love the training with the players, etc. And I'll be doing my best, obviously, and to continue to get the results.
Very good luck, Chris.
Thank you very much,
Neil. It's Tim from Sky Sports. You okay? Was this too good an opportunity to turn down, and have you had other offers that maybe haven't been quite so tempting?
Well, I had offers when I first left Cardiff, I had quite a few sort of enquiries, because my chief exec, Ken Chu, kept telling everybody I was taking this job and that job and this job in Scotland and all sorts of things. But I was never really close to... I had a great time at Cardiff, probably one of the best in my life. And, it's difficult. You've got to take a step back and see... I've got to be honest, if it probably wasn't Steve Gibson ringing me up, I'd probably think twice about it, especially the 6.5 hour journey last night at my age. But I've always liked Steve. He's always been straight with me when I've spoke to him. I've spoke to him a lot over the years. And it's just nice to put something back, really, when somebody needs a little bit of help. I think it's great for me to try and help out at this, this crucial time.
What's your mindset going into this? Is it about the rest of this season? Are you looking beyond that and possibly a survival and then a promotion push? And what about the 1,500 games? Can you achieve that at Middlesbrough? Well,
I've got a good journalist. Matt Dunn's done a lot of work for me, and he says that I do need 11 games, but they don't count the 17 playoffs that I've played in. Now, surely a playoff game it's got to be classed as registered as a league match. So I think that Richard Bevan should look into that, and I think I should be past that 1,500 mark by now. But I knew that I couldn't get to the 11 this season, but it wasn't the reason that I wanted to come and help out. Really, it doesn't do you any harm. It would have been easy to stay where I was in Cornwall, but the opportunity to help Steve. I've nearly managed Middlesbrough on numerous occasions over the last 20 years. And never quite come off one reason or the other, But I am looking forward to it. And it seem a good group of lads. Obviously, lacking in a little bit of confidence at the minute. But I'm sure that we can. Got a few days yet before the battles start.
Those battles, it becomes an 8-game shootout. So how valuable is that experience that you've got in the Championship so that you can hit the ground running?
Well, I'll tell you when after the last game of the season. If you're interviewing me then. I mean, the last 2 games are quite tasty, aren't they? Cardiff at home and Sheffield Wednesday away. It's a good job the crowds aren't in. But it's, they're really exciting games. And, there's no such thing as an easy game in the Championship. That's why it's such a great league. Everybody can be everybody on the day. And we are the old cliche. Just let's worry about Stoke first, and then everything else takes care of itself.
And finally, from me, do you see this as one last challenge for you? Is this the final challenge in your long managerial career?
I wish I got £1 for every time that question was asked of me. But who knows what's around the corner? None of us, especially at a time like this. I think it's been a horrific time for the country. And I'm so glad that football's back, because it gives people an opportunity to talk about things. I think we've all missed that, whether it's a bad decision or one team scored a few goals. I think the talking point is lifted everybody. And I have missed the dressing room spirit. And when, the opportunity to help out as well. I know it's only 8 games, but I've never really been worried to going anywhere, and I've enjoyed today. But as I've said, it was a long journey yesterday, but I've really enjoyed today, and the lads have responded in a great way.
Thanks, Neil. All the best.
Thank you very much,
Neil. Can I just ask? Sorry, it's Chris from ITV. How did the move sort of unfold? How did it work?
Well, Steve rang me late last night and asked me if I'd help out, and I asked, asked him about the circumstances, and I didn't look at the game at the weekend, but you've got to accept what he owns the club, he's run the club, he's a very loyal manager, very loyal owner and chairman, so that must have been a difficult decision for him, and I think it might have helped when I said I would help out. I think. To have those 8 games, I'm not trying to be rocket science. I just want to try and get the lads playing as well as they can and try and achieve that the Championship status.
You've talked about that you haven't lost your enthusiasm for the managing side of things, you say it's only 8 games, but if the opportunity was there come the summer, do you think you'd like to stay next year?
I think when you get to my age, you don't really worry too much about, what's going to happen in a few months, especially at a time like this. I think I'm going to enjoy this period. I still got, when I spoke to the players before training, I still got shivers down my back, and that's why I'm in it. I'm in it there because I enjoy doing my job. It's stressful at times, but I want to enjoy it, and I want the players to try and enjoy working hard for me and getting the right results. It's a great game we play in, and managing, and players should think themselves very lucky. But I do think they've come out of it in really good style this time, this pandemic.
It's clear, obviously, that there's a tough task on your hands. Middlesbrough are down there for a reason, but I guess you've seen the squad, you've seen what you've got to work with, and you're confident you can turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, I would, without seeing the squad, it never phases me. I think when we went to Rotherham a few years ago, I'd retired for definite then, and I think you all know the story. So to get to Rotherham and achieve what we did was remarkable, really, and probably the best thing I've ever done in my career, away from the promotions, And it's a job that it's nice to repay people that you've got a lot of respect for, and I work better for owners. I'm not going to be a miracle. I can't say anything definite about this. I'm going to give it my best shot, and Steve knows that. But it's a very difficult position, and some big clubs down there, in that relegation area.
Last one from me. You've been at the training ground today. You know what the club is. You said that you've spoken to Steve on numerous occasions in the past. But how does Middlesbrough compare to some of the other clubs you've managed in terms of stature and facilities?
Well, I won't tell you exactly what I said to the groundsman, but some of the clubs I've been at, we've had to shovel certain stuff off the pitches before we start training. And this looked like Wembley all over again today. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. So, if I could get my turf at home a little bit like that, I'll be quite happy.
Brilliant. Best of luck with it, Neil.
Thank you very much.
Like written media, Damien, do you want to go first?
Will do. Thanks, Juicy. Hi, Neil. Damien Spellman from PA. Neil, you mentioned that you perhaps thought you'd retired. What is it that keeps getting you out of bed about football, to come back to football?
I sometimes wonder myself, really. I've really enjoyed doing the garden, cutting the trees down, having a fish. Little simple things, the ducks every morning and the birds. It's amazing what you miss when you're in football. A few weeks ago, I remember we had the bluebells were out, and the top of the garden, and they were absolutely immaculate. And I said to Sharon, "Wow, look at the colour in there! Look at the colours! That's amazing! I've never seen that before." And she said, "No, you've never been here in April." And it's it just brings it back to earth. I remember that you're that tied up in things in football, engrossed in every game, training, and then next day it's next opponents and the crowds and the journalists, and I really realise how difficult it's been for you guys and ladies over the last few months, because to not have anything competitive to write about, it's very difficult. So hopefully I can give you one or two stories in the next few weeks.
And you mentioned Rotherham there. What can you take from that Rotherham experience and bring into the current situation?
Well, I think you've got to be organised. I think we've got to try and be organised in what we're doing, and try and give them that freedom. We went from that, 10 or 11 games and 7 out of the top 8. But it didn't worry us. We stuck at it and got some great results. And it was a wonderful end. You don't get you don't get great results without work. As I've said to the players today, the minimum requirement for them to work really hard for me, so that I have no complaints about that. So that if the results don't go right for us, they've given everything. All I can ask really. And it is a hard division. It's an enjoyable one. And I want them to come into training every day and enjoy themselves and work hard for me, and they'll get their rewards.
Just finally from me, Neil, I'm old enough to remember you as a player at Hartlepool, so you know a bit about North East football. How good is it to be back up here?
Well, I was telling, I think it was Rudy who lives up there. I was telling him about my Player of the Year 1972. The only thing I ever won in football. And it did make him laugh, I must admit. But I've always had a good time from it. You know, been close, managing in the North East. It's never quite. But I've a lot of friends up here, and it's nice to go around the country. You know, I've had some really good. The last 3 years with Mehmet Delman, the chairman, really great experience, and nice to sort of help Stephen in a difficult time.
Neil, Dom Shaw from the Evening Gazette. You talked about how close you've been to managing Borough in the past. What's the closest you've come?
Sorry, what's the closest I've come to?
To managing, you talked about how close you've come to managing Borough in the past. What's the closest you've come?
You try and dig that out in the next few weeks, won't you? I might tell you the last game where I've had opportunities. And one of my biggest regrets was turning a club down. But anyhow, I'll come to that in another time.
And you must have thought the chance had passed, did you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't end up for anybody really, because you know it's coming now, closing in on the end, and it's you know, there's no crowds. It's a very difficult period. So yeah, now we're just ready watching it all at home, and when the call came out of the blue, really.
Neil, just Philip Tallentire from the Middlesbrough Gazette. You mentioned the players, and obviously you've got a limited time with them so far. But what are the quick wins you can make with a group of players like that can get them ready for the 8 remaining games?
Well, I think we have to try and let them know what we want. We've done this afternoon. I have to try and during the training session, try and help the lads the best I can. What I think they should be doing. There's no doubt there's ability in the squad, so that's not, you know. But you have to look at why they are where they are in the league with all that ability. So it's just one of those things that I have to try. Like I say, I do enjoy trying to help to blend something and try and escape. You know, the escapologist. I do enjoy that part of the game, but you know, it's one that you might say that's a little bit. I forget the word I'm trying to think of now. I do enjoy that thrill. You know, trying to get enough points and keep teams up above water, heads above water.
You'll be aware that there's several players who are out of contract, like there are at many clubs. I think there's a couple that Borough were trying to get over the line to sign the waivers for the remaining games. Have you got anything you can add to that?
Not at the moment, no. I mean, I'll probably have a look tonight at all the situation with Neil when we've got a minute. But you know, we've only just finished training. It's been you know, I had to wait until I was cleared with the fob, you know, for the virus. So we had to put training back till this afternoon. So not really. I mean, I will be looking at that and advising Steve. You know, they maybe have already made certain decisions. I'm not aware of them at the moment. But I know one or two lads have committed themselves to playing. Really, yeah. The time when you're out of contract, it's a really long time to play. You know, they don't want to play. But I've spoken to a couple that have already committed.
Hi Neil, it's Martin here from the Times. Welcome to the North East finally. Two parts of the question. First of all, when you started at Gainsborough Trinity at the start of the 1980s, did you think you'd still be going in 2020? And secondly, should a club of Middlesbrough stature, having seen the training ground, should they be fighting to stay out of League One, or should they be fighting to get into the Premier League?
Well, there's no way I'm answering the second question. That's for sure. For you, that's fantastic. I mean, when I was at Gainsborough, I thought the farthest I might get up North East would be Live Spark. Seriously, I always had ambitions. I took a Sunday League team. And beating Carew, I took the under-12s on the green when I was at Hartlepool. I remember running up and down like that. What do you call that film when he had his whistle down his neck? Kez, is it Kez? Yeah. And I remember running up and down when we scored from a set piece at the under-12s. at Seaton Crew. It was, it's you've got happy memories. North East's always a good place. It's a football hub, isn't it? So long it's been starved of success. Hopefully, I think the Liverpool club will got some success in the next